Lauren.
Hi, Hannah. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine. How are you? So it's 5 in the morning with you, yeah?
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
You're looking very bright and beautiful and shiny and glowy.
Thank you. That's
Oh,
actually my daughter's name, Glow. We called her Glowy.
oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Oh well, she's definitely here. She's definitely connected in. If I've just said that, that's
Yeah.
amazing. So yeah, just the format of this. You can just talk. You can just tell me what you want, and the other Raise members tell us about yourself, tell us about Glow, tell us anything you want. It's basically using your voice, and I'll sort of prompt as we go along, maybe if something drops in for me. But yeah, if you're comfortable, like, the floor is yours. And you
Okay, I guess I'll start where with what she told me before she went to heaven. So she would tell me, well, the year about 6 months before, she had a dental procedure and they had to put her to sleep. And when she got up from that, and I went back to the room to be with her, she stood up immediately and started to run into the hallway, and she was looking around. And she walked into the hallway, and I just sat there. I was like, what's going on? Like, what is she doing? And the nurse brought her back and said, she can't be walking around. What is she doing? Get her back in here and sit her down. And so I did. And it was a few days later, she said, Mom, when we were at the dentist, I go to upper and upper and upper, and I felt so good. And I'm not scared of the dentist anymore. And I'm pretty sure she said we go to upper and upper and upper, and I seed our house. So my first thought was, oh my gosh, she got high from the medicine and maybe she's going to be a drug addict when she grows up. But after she went to heaven, I was like, okay, she had an out of body experience. She had a near death experience. And which makes sense because during the procedure, I had a sudden thought, should I be worried right now? It was just sudden, and it had been seemed like it was taking a long time. And so I just got a sudden worry, like, should I be concerned? But I guess I don't know if her heart stopped or not, but either way, I definitely think she had an out of body experience. And then the time grew closer to her time of passing, which we didn't know she was going to pass at all. She was a very healthy, normal girl. And she told me, he's here again. We were at home and she said, he's here again. And I said, who? And she pointed to the living room and said, the man with the white face and the black suit. And I said, Glow. I said, well, is he scary? And she looked over, and then she goes, and she just walked away and started playing. And she told me that twice about the man with the white face and the black suit. And then at the hospital, when she was sick, we didn't think she was going to pass. We just thought she had the flu. And she pointed to the hallway and said, they keep saying I'm next, but then I'm not next. And the nurse was standing right next to me. So she wasn't talking about the nurses, but I initially thought that she was. And I just kind of looked at the nurse and I looked at Glow and I was like, Glow, be polite. And Glow just kind of looked at me like, what the heck is my mom talking about? Be polite. But I remember thinking, why is she saying they and pointing to an empty hallway? But it was afterward that it clicked that she was seeing whoever was coming to get her, and they were saying, you're next, you're next. And she didn't seem worried or anything. She didn't seem scared. She was just laying in the little gurney at the hospital. Well, it was 20 minutes later when they released us from the hospital. They said she was fine, that we were in the car, and she said, my legs, my arms, I'm going to pee, I'm going to throw up. Ah! And then she went and took a big exhale. And that was it. I pulled over, tried to give her CPR. My mom called 911. And yes, but my mom says that she saw a green, like a neon colored mist come up and pass through me, but I didn't see it because I was so trauma at the time. So we get to the hospital and I'm thinking, I mean, I'm thinking, I can't believe this is happening. And I'm just like, I'm going to die. Like, I'm going to die because if she's gone, I'm going to, either I'm going to take my life or my body can't handle it. And of course I went crazy. And then they said her time of passing is 10:10. And that was the first thing that made me like, I didn't say anything out loud because I didn't want anybody to think I was crazy, but I knew that that was the first thing that was going to keep me holding on and knowing that there was more to this, that this wasn't just a random act of like God's anger. He wasn't just like, let me take your daughter. It had more to it. There was something there. And that first sign is what held me on. What was the next sign after that? I believe the next thing after that were the cardinals on the way to the funeral home. Mm-hmm. And before her funeral, I remember laying in my bed and something came above me and there was like something behind it. And I feel like I knew it was glow, and it was energy, like a ball of energy. Not that she doesn't still have her body. I definitely think she still has her body, and I think it is still physical, but just mm-hmm. in the other realm. But it was like a glowing, twirling thing, and it felt like there was something behind her, as if maybe an angel had escorted her, mm-hmm. or God or whoever.
Yeah.
And so this was all unfolding, and the next thing I know, I buy a unicorn lamp at Walmart. And I'm walking into my room and the lamp starts flashing just on and off, on and off. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, like this is, and I of course bought the unicorn lamp for glow in honor of glow. And so there were things like that. And
funeral,
at her funeral. So then we were at her funeral, and the priest or whoever he was, pastor, said it's time to bow our heads to pray in the family room. And some of Glow's pictures that she had drawn were up on the wall. And as soon as he said it's time to bow our heads to pray, and we all went like this, we heard, and her picture that she had drawn of her family fell. But not in a mean way. Like, it didn't feel wrong. It felt right. It felt like, oh my gosh, she's here. It felt like she was saying
a sign.
I'm here, Mom. Why are you guys bowing your head to pray? Like, I'm right here. So it was that kept me hanging on through that. And just a series of like questions in my head that keep getting answered. And I'm stumbling upon things, and it makes me feel like she's guiding me, and that there's so much more to this.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. That's such a beautiful connection that you have. Was Glow your only child at that time?
No, I have a 14-year-old son, or 15 now, and I have a 5-year-old daughter now, but she was 3, my other daughter at the time.
Right, so Glow's your youngest.
Glow's my medium, but now she's my middle.
Right, okay. And do your other children have a connection? Does anybody else in your family have that connection with her? Do they feel?
Yes, my son the other day, just yesterday, came and told me he had a dream about Glow the other night.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't remember it, but he remembers being face to face with her, and she was smiling. But he's had more dreams than that. This is just the most recent. And then my other daughter, as soon as Glow went to heaven, she told me, she was hiding under her blanket. And a few months later, she said, Mom, the reason why I was hiding under my blanket was because I saw a light, and she pointed to a lamp, and she said, but without the shade, and that Glow was bouncing on it and telling her to come on.
Oh, wow.
Yes. So I was like, oh, wow. And then of course I'm like, oh my gosh, why is she telling you to come on? But I have heard that from a lot of people, that the person who passed over is telling them to come on, to come with them.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means, but I don't think it means anything bad. I think Glow was just excited, and maybe she thought for a second Bliss could project herself there or something.
Yeah. It's that, well, it sounds like there's still the playful element is just like, come and play with me. So,
Yes, exactly. She
oh,
makes
that's
her
so
toy.
good.
She makes my daughter's toys go off now. We went, and it's not, it's the timing. It's not just random.
Yeah.
It's right when we're talking about her. We went and walked around a lake and we all got to tell a story or stories about our child who went to heaven. And as soon as we got home, we were feeling so empty and just so sad. And I looked up at my mom. We were sitting at the table and I said, there's just no way that glow can just be gone. And immediately my daughter's little toy toilet started flushing nonstop, just back to back. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm fumbling, looking for my phone, trying to get my phone. And I got it on camera. And it
Okay.
stopped for a second. And I said, Glow, are you going to make it flush again? And it started again. It
Oh,
was amazing. And another time we were watching the movie Encanto. Have you seen
yes.
that?
Yeah.
So it's about family. Well, my family was fighting. We were thinking of separating and moving out of the house and not living together. And I went to pick up Chinese food. The girl there said, you should watch the movie Encanto, just randomly. And I'm thinking, I did ask Glow for help during that time. So I'm thinking there's going to be help. I'm just waiting for it. So I'm thinking the Encanto is a sign. Mm-hmm. So we turn on the movie and we all realize everybody in the family is important. My mom is watching with us and we're all just kind of, and I'm apologizing and we're like, okay, we're going to all live together. Well, my brother went outside and I wanted to bring him a lantern so it wasn't so dark, but the lantern wouldn't turn on. So I changed the battery and it still wouldn't turn on. So I took the batteries out and I hung the lantern over the trash. And I looked at my mom and I said, should I throw this away? Because it's not working. And she said, yeah. And that second it lit up. There were no batteries in it. I was like, look, Mom, it's lit. I didn't have time to grab my phone that time. And I ran outside, showed my brother, and then it went off. So it lasted for like 25 seconds. It was I still have the lantern and it never did it again. And same with the little toy toilet. It never flushed again. And I think she does that on purpose so that I know it's not just a glitch in those things.
Yeah, that's incredible. So how does it do you feel her presence all the time, or is it like when you're asking for a sign or you've asked for help, or can you identify when Glow's like makes that interaction with you?
Yes. Normally I do feel like a connection the second that I think of her and I become consciously aware that I'm thinking of her, and I'm like, oh, I'm thinking of Glow. And then I think, I wonder if she's aware that I'm thinking of her. And when I do that, then I'm like, okay, she is aware. I could just, something just kind of like, I feel it. I can feel that. But there's occasional times when I do feel like she's not here, that she went somewhere and is doing something. Because I can feel the absence of her. So I do think she comes and goes. I don't think she's just on demand for me, because I've tried that. I don't try it all the time because I don't want to be disappointed, and I don't want to also exhaust her, which I'm sure that I can't, but I don't want to be like Glow, Glow, Glow all the time. So, but she definitely comes and goes, which is difficult because I, of course, want her all the time.
Yeah, my brother, when he was very much connected to the earth, like Glow seems to be at the moment, that he would come and go, and I got used to it because you know that, like you say, with that the little connection, they're there when you think about them, or when something happens, or they're always around. What do you think Glow is doing? Why do you think do you kind of feel a purpose that she's being given, or why she was being called back? Do you get a feeling of what she's up to? Or
yes, and I also wanted to mention, sometimes I'm not thinking about her at all, and then I see something like out of the corner of my eye, or something that's misty and see-through, like a ghost. Oh,
Yeah.
before Glow went to heaven, I forgot to mention it was the Halloween before she went in January. It was the day before her birthday that she went to heaven. Just thought I would mention that
And
helped.
she was 5. It was just before she was 5, wasn't it?
Just before she was 5, right?
Okay.
Which to me, and I think God knew that this would happen, but to me that signals a completed cycle, a completed life. So it helps me to not feel like she was just randomly taken.
Okay.
But back to what we were talking about, which was
purpose.
Oh, her purpose. Yes. I think.
Oh no, you were actually saying something before. Sorry, you would.
Oh, the misty things.
Oh,
okay. She said that she wanted to be a ghost. She was watching the movie called The Little Ghost on Halloween, the Halloween before she went, and she looked up at me and said, "Mom, I want to be a ghost." And I said, "You will, sweetie." And oh my gosh, that was horrifying at first, but now I realize she wanted to be a ghost. I feel like she knew. I definitely feel like she knew, but her purpose, I think, is she was very helpful, and she would give away things and not feel sad about it at all.
Her sister.
Bliss. What about it?
Her purpose was to help Bliss too.
Oh, also, her sister is very, very sensitive and fragile, but since Glow, I think her purpose is to help Bliss, but not fully. I think her purpose is to help kids who are crossing over. Really, that's what I think, because when the things were going on in Ukraine, I was feeling her come and go a lot. I don't know if that sounds weird, but I was feeling her come and go a lot, and my immediate thought was, she's helping the kids in Ukraine. So I do think that or if I hear of a child that passed, I'm thinking that I'm hearing of it because Glow is involved in it, helping the child, or Glow was involved in it, or that's Glow's new friend, but I definitely think her purpose is to just help and little kids, because she's so sweet and so friendly looking. A picture. Oh, let me grab it.
Yeah.
Picture.
It's funny is that your mum in the background, or?
It is, yeah.
Oh, bless her.
Have a picture, please.
So Christian, he always was attracted to children. Little children adored him. And what year did Glow pass over?
2020.
2020. Okay. Yeah, Christian was. Oh, bless her. Look, I can see that face. Yes.
She's so sweet. She's just.
Yes, totally. Like, she is totally. I would see that as a little angel child.
Totally. A little angel. And I always thought that when she was on Earth, I would walk into my room and I would be like, oh my gosh, I'm in the presence of an angel. And she'd just smile.
Yeah.
But I could just feel it.
I suspect that's why you've been brought into Raise, because my brother's with her for sure.
Okay, I'm glad you said that, because last night I accidentally swiped left on your app, or on your little the Mighty network. I swiped left and his picture came up, and I immediately was like, I was taken aback for some reason, because his intense his look, he looks magical as well. Yeah. And I was like, whoa. And my instant thought was, he looks friendly. He's with Glow.
He adored children, and so when he was traveling, he did a lot of traveling, and his way to meet the families, because he loved living with the proper traveling and staying with families and being introduced to families. He would always be introduced to families through children. Children would flock to him, and he helps children. That's part of it. So young children up to sort of the age he was when he died, which was 27, 28. And he has a whole, he shows me the size of the group he has with him. And we've just done our 17-day reconnection experience. And in it, we got a hint of how big this group is. I am positive Glow will be with him.
Yes,
without a doubt.
That was my thought. And I had another thought, and it was that he was teaching them how to communicate with us here.
He does that, yeah, and he does that with a lot of So a lot of people, so Glow was obviously attuned and interacting with spirit already, but Chris works a lot with people who in their physical life would have not been spiritual and would have been scared of it and wouldn't know what to do, and he helps them with how do you communicate, how do you connect, how do you, so yes, Glow is, if Chris isn't showing Glow how to do that, she would have already known, and she is helping other children to be able to do that. So together they would be working. Like, I can feel it. She's definitely I pulled a card, because I always pull a card before we start these. And I got the Anointed.
Oh wow.
So that's answer the call, leadership, empowerment, soul gifts. And I suspect I mean, what do you feel Glow brought to your life? Like, what gifts did she give you? What do you feel she left as her legacy, like if we're talking about a physical life?
Wow. Glow, I came right after I had gone through a traumatic experience. My brother was shot in the face in front of me. He survived, but wow. I know. And it was very traumatic. I thought I was going to be shot, but luckily I wasn't. And it was a couple months later that I got pregnant with Glow. So we all think that she was sent to just get our family sort of back on the right track. We weren't completely off track, but I wasn't sure about the afterlife, and I wasn't really sure. And Glow just brought magic back to our life. And what she's left me with is a guidebook to life. And I always say that because I can think of any situation and I can think, what did Glow do, or what would Glow do? And that's how I know that she left me with the guidebook to life. And I remember before I had her having a thought, which this is a ridiculous thought, but it was, I hope I have a daughter so she can teach me how to live again. And I do feel like Glow taught me how to live again, what's important, what's not important, and the way she enjoyed things fully to the max. Each moment she brought her 100% presence in each moment, just full, locked in and connected to the soul that she was interacting with. It was just beautiful to see her exist. It was so beautiful. She would give away things and not feel sad about it. She would, she gave away the golden egg at Easter to her friend because her friend was crying, and the friend's mom said, "Oh, Glow, can Blakely have that egg?" And Glow looked at it and just handed it. And I was like, Glow, the whole day after that, I was like, "Are you sad? I'm so sorry, Glow, that I forced you to do that." I felt like I had forced her just because I was standing over here and I kind of felt like frustrated and a little bit mad. But I didn't say anything. Glow gave it at her own will. But the whole time I was like, "Are you sad?" She never said yes. She just looked out the window, and it felt like she kept just 100% faith that she was meant to do that. And toward the end, as her soul, the end of her little earthly life, as her soul was evolving, I can look back and see it now because her last birthday, we did have a little party before. So thankfully we got to do that. But her sister had gotten a gift of a Barbie doll. It was a ballerina Barbie. And Glow said, "Oh, I wanted that." And then she goes, "But it's okay if I don't get that. I'm not going to be sad." So she was starting to let go of material things from what I witnessed. And she was moving more into just what really mattered.
Wow. Do you think the presence, so you say the presences kind of came to collect her?
Yes.
You know, is that what you would kind of, how do you voice that? Do you feel just sort of talking to that, I'm quite interested how you view those presences that came to her
at the hospital. Or at the hospital, and the one before, the white face and the black suit. Initially, I mean, I have had horrifying thoughts like, "Oh my gosh, the Grim Reaper." But I've also had thoughts like, it was an angel, a white face. She probably means bright, glowing is what I'm thinking that she meant. And I'm thinking either my grandfather, God himself, Jesus, or an angel, is what I'm thinking. but at the hospital, when she said, they keep saying I'm next, I think, to me, and what I've been shown when I've asked with my heart and my soul, is that is the cloud of witnesses. Those are all of the people who touched us on earth that went to heaven before us, that we knew on earth and went to heaven. So they wait until we all, from what I've learned from all of my researches, we wait for everybody who we've touched and who's touched us, and that we greet them. So I think it consisted of my family. There was a little girl's mom at her school who had gone to heaven just a couple months earlier. So definitely her. And then our ancestors and stuff who weren't on earth at the same time. I think they're there as well.
Yes, I agree.
And my Glow's teacher had a daughter who went to heaven. And the night that Glow went to heaven, I called that teacher, but she didn't answer. And the next day, before we even talked, she told somebody that she had a dream that night that her daughter was holding hands with another little girl with curly hair and walking into Disney. And she told somebody that before she knew that Glow went to heaven. So then right after she told somebody that, she got a phone call that Glow had gone to heaven. So, and her daughter was also 5 when she passed. Wasn't she 5? She was either 5 or 6. So,
okay.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting that she had that dream.
Do you find, because obviously you're talking to us, and thank you so much for that. Really appreciate just you voicing what your experience is. Do you talk to other people outside your family about this? I mean, is this common knowledge that you and Glow kind of communicate, and do you talk about it freely, or do you feel you can't to certain people? I don't know what environment you're in, because you're in Florida, aren't you?
I'm in Florida, yes. I do talk about it freely, and I did back down a little bit from sharing as much on Instagram, because sometimes I feel like the signs make more sense to me than they do to the outer world, because I feel them. They're not just something that I see, but other people, when I'm trying to show them, it's just something that they see. They don't necessarily feel it. But in my house, it's fine to talk about, and everybody knows that I'll say, I think I just saw Glow, or something just went by, or I feel like Glow is here, or so, yes.
So have you met do you belong to any communities, or how do you sort of share outside your house?
The Helping Parents Heal. I talked to a couple of caring listeners on there, and all of them have gotten signs from their child as well.
Okay.
And I share on their Facebook page sometimes some of the signs.
Yes. Okay. Do you feel there's because I get the feeling that this card is actually for you as well, like.
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
And when you said legacy, it was so funny, because I literally, and it's probably still on my phone, looked up the definition to the word legacy last night. I kid you not. There it is. You probably can't see it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I can see that. Oh, push it down. Yeah. Oh, anyway. Yes, there. Yeah. What is legacy?
Yes, I looked it up last night. That's why I was like, that is so weird. And I stumbled upon this thing, and it had our signs. She was an Aquarius, and it said that Aquarius are here. Their sign, Aquarius, represents working as a part of a group for a bigger cause. And I thought that was interesting. And I'm a Capricorn, and it says that I'm here to master legacy. And I stumbled upon this last night as I was asking Glow for help and guidance in this whole thing.
Okay. Can I just show you this? I don't know if you can see this. Create a legacy, create a legacy, create a ripple effect, create wealth, authentic truth. And the question underneath is, what do I need to remember about us? The frequency and the light. With a little, I don't know if you can see that. So I'll post it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I want to take a picture.
I'll post it in the comments as well. But
yes.
So I wrote this I wrote this. In fact, I don't know when I wrote this. I have post-it notes like hundreds and hundreds all over the place. And every time I get something that comes through, I just write it down, and they appear at the right time. So that's just sitting on my. That was just sitting here.
Wow.
And the card I had for today. That Chris and I have these cards.
Oh my gosh, her favorite animal is a giraffe.
Oh, okay.
Yes. I love that. Yes, she has actually one of the last things she made at school was her little thing, and it had favorite animal, and she wrote giraffe.
So this has come together. That's the message come together. And with the 8, which is the infinity, I feel that okay. I feel that you two have so for example, Chris and I, we did our private healing together, and our private, much like you and Glow are doing at the moment. But it gets to the point where the purpose is much bigger than you two and your family.
Yes.
And I suspect we might be having this conversation now because this is the time for you to start building
I just got
the legacy.
Did you see that behind me?
No.
It keeps going behind me. On the recording, you'll probably notice it, but it's a see-through white. It's very interesting. But I had that same thought, and I had the same message come through just by things that I saw on my phone, and just by thoughts and it was all happening at the same time. I was seeing the things, and the thoughts were coming at the same time, that this is the time, and this is unfolding like this. And I think it's starting here.
Yes.
Because at first I was so inundated in the trauma. What I would have told you is the whole story of just how she went to heaven, and not the beautiful parts of it. Like I just shared with you. Now I'm finally able to mostly focus on the beautiful parts of it.
And when has that happened? When has that happened though, that you've suddenly been able to focus on?
Today, last night, as it was occurring to me, how to show up, and how you said that it would be gentle or easy, and so that made me feel it's not about the trauma. This is about, I didn't even have to consciously say, don't talk about the trauma. It just came to me. This isn't about the trauma. This is about now. This is about the connection now. This is about more than just the earth part of it.
Yes.
The scary part.
Yes. I think, because it's not that long ago, is it? When did she pass? Is it a year and
2020? So it'll be 3 years in January, but it feels so short because time feels paused. I don't even feel like I'm in time.
Yes. Oh, well,
3 days feels like 1 day.
Yeah, and that spirit time. If you're
that's what I was. Yes, I had that same revelation. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so you've been getting lots of downloads before our conversation. That's brilliant.
Yeah.
I love.
Of course, I prayed
works.
for them. They didn't just. I prayed and I asked. So.
Perfect. Yes, praying and asking, exactly. So it's going to be interesting how you work together and how this evolves for you. I'm excited for you because you obviously have your soul gifts and Glow has hers, and you have that connection. And I'm excited for you because I know what Chris and I do and what we are moving into. And you're obviously part of the team, you two.
Oh, I love that.
So that's incredible.
It is.
Oh, I don't know what to say next.
I know.
You should come and join one of our reconnection experiences.
Okay.
For a start, because we do these for 17 days, and it's completely intensive, fast moving, but it cements the connection, and there's so much that's downloaded that you and Glow would work together. It might be you get your vision, your mission, your whatever, the bigger picture.
Yes, and I have a little bit of a mission, and it's to be a hospital chaplain. I'm a licensed chaplain now, since Glow's gone to heaven, but I don't have my master's degree, so I need that for the hospital chaplain. But I am a licensed chaplain, and I do want to be there when people are about to go to heaven, or because I feel like Glow's working with me on that. And the way I was led to becoming a chaplain, it was just incredible. A book fell down, and I opened to a page, and the girl had happened to, and just that morning I had happened to be on the hospice website, but I was just looking for a job. I wasn't thinking I'll be a chaplain. I saw the word chaplain and I thought, well, what is that? Maybe I want to do that. And I thought maybe it's just a little certificate. It should just take a few weeks. Like maybe I'll do that. And I looked it up and it said you needed a master's degree. But then it was later that day that book fell, and I opened to a page, and the girl said after her aunt went to heaven, from all the signs, she knew that she needed to be a chaplain. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I was just looking at the hospice website and I just Googled what credentials people need for a chaplain. So that's what I'm thinking. It's coming together.
Yeah. So since we've been doing Raise, which is since probably 2019, the people who've been attracted in, so they're obviously attracted by Chris and I, or story or something they've seen, and it's like, oh, they're interesting. Let's go and have a look.
Yes, I was guided to you. It was like this. It was incredible.
How did you find us for?
I can't even remember because it was so. But I think it was. I was watching your YouTube video, and then you mentioned the website or something, and I went to it. And I was like, well, maybe I'll just join this because look, I can talk freely here about Glow stuff and they won't think that I'm weird or have gone crazy. And so that's when I joined it. And when I did my profile, normally I get stressed out trying to think of like things to say, but it just came to me, the story, and it just flowed, and it felt meant to be. I actually ran to my mom that morning and was like, Mom, guess what I found? I found this community. And my mom was like, wow. But she also agreed that it felt meant to be.
That's so fantastic. I love how Spirit just and I love how, like, because we're soul family, and I love the way it just, when we connect and we're all kind of aligned and we meet again, it's just, oh, this is so easy. This is so easy. It feels right. But I was just saying, so many people in Raise who've been with us for quite a while now are stepping in. They have realized that they are now energy healers, they're death doulas, they're all of these healing, which they didn't realize before, and I didn't realize before. This was not anything in my, I was a writer, this was not in my remit at all. But going through bereavement, but the signs and being open and allowing it, we are now working in partnership with Spirit. So Glow is your partner here, and she will have brought you to this point. And then they are all working. So the vision I see now is there's a vast group in Spirit, and there is a vast group in the physical, but we haven't quite all knitted together yet. So it's all cool. So the more of us that do the work and share our stories and give other people, it's like we're the lighthouse. I keep getting this vision of like being a lighthouse of love, and we're just shining out, and people in the darkness go, oh my God, there's something there for me. Like they hear our stories, and thank you, because
people, and I have chills as you're saying that.
People will hear your story with Glow, because these are not losses that people think it's possible to move through.
Right.
But I can guarantee you, I have seen like missing people, families who just stop dead.
Oh, it's a battle.
Same with children. Like, how do you get through? I'm never going to be able to get through the death of my child. That's almost like a society point. And then anybody who does is a bit, right, well, you're a bit weird. You're a bit, how can you possibly do that?
How can you possibly smile and act happy and act normal? Yes, I know. And it's not that you just get through it. It is a constant thing that I feel like I battle, and I have to tell myself, I have to remind myself that Earth, this is Earth, and earth is sort of, you know, ridiculous. I mean, we go through these hard things, but it's like a drama. I talk myself into with all these thoughts. I'm like, earth is a drama. This is not real. It can't really be this bad. Like, don't you see that there's order in her passing? Like, she passed the day before her 5th birthday. I think God did those things on purpose because he knew that I would be able to make sense of those things, and I'd be able to come to acceptance instead of just a random. But I know he doesn't do random things, but they can look random. And I believe that those other parents, if that happens, then there will be other things that they can grasp onto. God knows how to get to us, whether that's what we're going to notice, what we're going to pay attention, but what's going to catch our eye and our heart. And I have to remind myself that the afterlife is real constantly. It's a daily search and a daily remembering. And that's how I get through it.
Yeah, because the physical loss is like the hardest bit to, I struggle with that for many years, because we don't have Chris's body, we don't have you know, and I could feel him next to me, say in the car, which I don't now, because he's truly lifted up. He's kind of released all his earthly chains, I guess, or not links, but that physicality, missing that physicality was the hardest, even with the spiritual knowledge and the, you know, we're still connected, so yes, I can totally understand that. That physical, you know, the physical loss, but in time you'll see because when they're out of their physical body, what they can do and what they can reach and how they can interact with you gets more and more magical, and they can bring so much more.
Yes. And I also remind myself that that in the Bible it does say that that God will give us back what we lost. And so I try to remember that, if that's true, because I think that it is. And I think God is good, and I don't think he wants us to suffer. I think we have to go through this pretend suffering on earth, which is very real, but it also is not. But I think that I will get back. I think I'll get to be with her, and she'll be that age, if he knows that that's the desire of my heart. Yeah. And I think that I will get to have her at that age. It will be like it's physical in heaven, even though we're in another realm. And I even sometimes I think that I'll get to start over and raise her from a baby in a stress-free environment in heaven. And that's a very comforting thought for me. I can be like, okay, if you can promise me that, God, I can do this. I can make it through this. And I just want to be able to be her mom again in heaven and not feel like I missed not 1 second. I even want to go back, like I said, to when she was a baby and start new, stress-free.
Interesting. I'm looking forward to seeing how your relationship develops, because she will grow. So Chris started off as his 27-year-old, like as I'd left him, and he's now released, and he's like his soul self. So Glow will become, she will grow with you into an adult, and like you will continue this relationship, and it will evolve. And it's like you have your daughter, but and she will become more like the essence of her, like deep. You'll see the layers, the deeper, and she'll get wiser, and you'll learn from her.
And I do see that. I do. But every time she's appeared to me, she still looks the same age.
Little, right. Okay.
And so, and I think she'll stay that age, but I think she'll get wiser. Even my brother said when he comes to her, she's still little, but she seems wiser. But she always seemed wise, especially toward the end. Like I said, she seemed extremely wise, and I knew there was something different. Something was going on. I told my mom, I said, something is going on. Something's going to happen. And then I know.
Oh, bless you. Thank you so much for joining us. unless there's anything else that you want to say, but I kind of feel the energy's just gone. That's just perfect.
Yes, I agree.
Thank
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for sharing, Glow with us, and your story, and your mum who's sitting in the background.
Yes.
And then we'll just keep within Raise, and we'll see we're growing. We're going to relaunch soon, and we're going to be, and obviously you're in America and Florida, so that's great, and it's just going to be building and building and building. So keep going with your masters. And so are you actually a chaplain now, or you are training to be?
I'm a licensed chaplain, but I haven't felt ready to fully go on and do that just yet. I'm kind of just taking it slow. I want to be guided when the time is right.
Okay, I suspect it is now.
Yes. Okay.
But there might be a few things that you need to, I don't know, maybe, like a reconnection experience might just be perfect now.
Yes.
We're actually starting one on Monday, so that's
on Monday.
Time.
Okay, I will add that to my agenda.
So you can I'm going to send out an email today actually to the list on which you are, so you could maybe join through there. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, Lauren. And I know it's so early in the morning. Thank you so much for getting up early and looking so glowy for us.
Oh yes, thank you for having me, and thank you for sharing about precious sweet little Glowy. I love her so much.
Oh, she knows. Perfect. Thank you, and enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll catch up soon. Okay, lots of love.
Lots of love. Bye, Hannah.
Bye.